Think about this. 5 p.m. in Detroit, San Francisco, London. Today, a horse is faster than a car. We came all the way full circle. Well, cars' value proposition does not exist anymore. We forgot why we designed cars in the first place, and cars are not a good product anymore. But why? What is the fundamental product with all the cars you see here? There's a fundamental product. And the fundamental problem is laws of physics. What you have here is you pretty much trying to put through a tube like that as much throughput as you can, right? You're trying to put it, and you have a fundamental problem because you have the limitations here, right? You see the white lines on the video behind me, and you see it in the tube here. Same size tube, right? Let's say we're going to double. Let's say we're going to make a bigger tube, right? Is it going to solve the problem? No. You understand why? Every 20 years, we're trying to put 2x cars through the same exact tube. Any solution, like self-driving cars, like connected cars, like digging underground like a hyperloop, still has a fundamental problem of geometry. You cannot break the laws of physics and laws of mathematics. We need freedom. So the only way to have a freedom is to remove the constraints. There's actually no other way of doing it, right? So we need to have highways in the sky. Highways in the sky still have lanes. They're still pretty much controlled, but they don't have physical constraints. First of all, you can move this highway right, left, or anywhere you want to. You can expand and contract this highway as much as you want. You can expand it in y direction. You don't have the cross sections where you need to stop. You can pretty much put it like 100x more cars through those highways. So this is a solution. So we need a flying car, right? And if you want to get from point A to point B and not waste your time, you need a flying car. But what is the flying car? It has only two criteria. It's a car and it has a vertical takeoff. That's it. We know what flying car looks like. We know what flying car functions like. We read Asimov, Bradbury, we saw Back to the Future, Blade Runner. We know what it looks like. We know how it functions like. For 100 years we saw the same thing. It's a car and it has a vertical takeoff. But we have not been delivered that. So many people did the flying cars before us. Even before Henry Ford did one here. I think in Detroit, right? People tried to create flying cars. Obviously Paul Muller and many others tried. But again, the fundamental problem is you need to be a car and you need to have a vertical takeoff. This is why all of these are good transportation, but not the flying car. So for the first time today, we want general public in an auto show to see the real flying car. This is Alef flying car. This is Alef flying car for you guys. Hopefully the world's first real flying car. So we did several things. So first on, we took out the engine, which used to be here, and we put 4 smaller motors inside each wheel. This is for the drive power, right? Second thing we did, we opened the top for the airflow to flow, right, to come through, and we created the mesh which you're looking at right now. So the mesh, first of all, is structural. It's a safety mechanism, and it also allows the air through for the propellers which you see inside. And obviously for the vertical takeoff, there are propellers inside. It's actually DEP, distributed electric propulsion, which has 8, 4 at the front and 4 in the back, motor speed controller propeller systems. This is how it works. This is 100% electric. It has a maximum driving range of 200 miles or 100 miles flying, maximum flying range. It has an ultra-light, ultra-strong, impregnated carbon fiber body. It is environmentally friendly. It drives sparks, flies into the infrastructure, and it was designed to be safer than anything which flies today, and in some cases drives today. The key to customer adoption is safety. There are many safety features here. As you can see, everything is enclosed, all the propulsion system is enclosed. There's a lot of redundancy. There is a octuple redundancy in most components here. There are many features. Again, a lot of them are software, a lot of them are hardware, and a lot of them are aeronautics. And because, remember, I said it's very much ultralight, it can't actually deploy the whole body parachutes at the low altitude. So there are a lot of safety features, right, compared to existing helicopters and aircraft. But what if I told you that everything I told you up to this point, it's actually impossible because there's a fundamental problem with the laws of physics. And fundamental problem is the same. All things are flying the same. You need air pressure under the wing to be more than air pressure over the wing, and this is what pushes you up, right? So you need good air surfaces, you need pretty good air surfaces to be efficient. If you take the best battery today, the best energy density, this can fly for maybe 10, maximum 15 minutes. And nothing of a car can fly for more than that. Because it's a law of physics. You don't have big wings, right? Moreover, you have another problem. You have the shape of the car which actually pushes you down and not up. So the problem is you need to have wings, and by the way, you need to resolve this thing with 0 extra pounds. Which means you need somehow to take this horrible shape, and by the way, car is a flying brick. It's a horrible aerodynamic shape, right? You need to take this car, turn it into the aeronautically good design. You need to have wings, and you need to have wings which weigh 0 pounds. From the laws of physics, you know it's impossible. So we have to somehow, we cannot break the laws of physics. We had to fool the laws of physics. Usually at this point, I give people about 10 to 7 seconds to guess where the wings are going to come from. Most of you in this room are actually looking at the wings. You're looking at them right now. This is animation, but we're actually going to show you something else here. Where the wings are going to come from? You have 2 seconds to guess. So in fact, what happens is this is the wing, and the other side is the wing. This is actually has a perfect airflow design. So what it does, it turns, and now you are a biplane. Now you actually have 2 wings at the bottom and at the top. Moreover, you have a circular wing. Moreover, you have a DEP, distributed electric propulsion inside. It's a very efficient flying, which you got from the shape of the car, with 0 extra pounds. This is how we got it. And if you looked at the driver in that animation, driver never moves. It's a gimbaled cabin, which means the car is rotating around you, and driver is always perpendicular to the ground, never moving. Okay. But you don't have to use transition. You can simply hop over an obstacle, right? You can drive and hop over an obstacle. Whether it's a cross traffic, it's a water body, it's a mountains, anything on your way, you can actually hop over it. There's 3 modes: driving mode, hopping mode, and a biplane transition mode. You choose the most efficient. We think this is the optimal transportation, because if you want to get from point A to point B, you actually choose how you get there. And you have these modes to choose from. So we are actually using traditional automotive business model, like as you have at home here in Detroit. We had a great customer demands. In fact, we have 2,800 pre-orders, but the customers actually months ago crashed our payment system. So we're hoping to get it back up. It should be back up this morning, but probably with all these cameras, you guys are going to crash the system again. So yes, we're actually taking pre-orders using similar model to Tesla. At this point, it is $300K price because it's a low volume, it's a handmade. We're trying to, at some point, get it down to price of the regular sedan, to crown that, like close to 35K. It's going to take time, it's going to take volume, but there is nothing fundamentally here complicated to make it that this should be priced more than Ford Focus or Toyota Corolla, right? So at this point, yes, it's a little bit of a high price, but we're getting it there. So for early adopters, you're welcome to sign up. So let me address big elephant in the room, which is obviously the legal, right? Everybody's asking, are you legally allowed to fly? Where are you legally allowed to fly? So there are 2 stories. There's international and there is United States. So in some international jurisdictions, and actually closer to home than you think, in fact, probably across the water body over there in Canada. But this is just one example. We are allowed to fly today. As I mentioned, this is an ultralight body, so it's a very lightweight, and in some classifications we're ultralight. That being said, it gives you a lot of limitations still. So we are working on getting the full certification. As you know, many of you know, 2 months ago we got the FAA Special Airworthiness certification to fly in the United States, in fact, at home for us in Silicon Valley. But again, very limited by geographic area and very limited by the purpose of what we can fly today to. Big props, I want to always try to give big props for FAA and NASA. They are doing an incredible job of trying to make that happen as soon as possible, and they're moving way faster than anybody thought. So to anybody asking when, I think pretty soon. And again, primarily because FAA and NASA is doing such a good job and moving it so fast, at the same time in protecting the safety of our people too. So future looks bright, right? In about 10 years, and yes, it's an estimate, but I think it's actually a pretty good estimate at this point, considering everything which we know at this point. So first of all, highways in the sky with tens of thousands of cars. That's number one. We want to increase the volume, get it priced down close to 35K. We want to double the distance and the number of passengers. We want to make sure that at some point, again, not initially, but at some point, you will not need any kind of pilot license or anything. You will need some kind of a basic license. It's very easy to operate. If you know the difference between up, down, left, right, front, and back, you should be able to control this car, right? In fact, in the air, when you have like thousands of those, as I mentioned, safety is actually safer than you on the ground. You have more rooms to maneuver. You have many more options. You have the highways which can expand and contract. So it is actually highways in the sky should be safer than highways on the ground. So now that we looked at the future, let us look a little bit in the past. We started in 2015, completely coincidentally, we started around the fall of 2015. This is where they traveled to the Back to the Future, complete coincidence, right? So I drew something on the napkin in the coffee shop, and Oleg Petrov, Pavel Markin, and Konstantin Kislyak, who is right there, made it happen. They took something which was drawn on the napkin, and they made this happen. We went through about several prototypes, and then we met Tim Draper, the famous investor who was one of the first investors in Tesla, one of the first investors, SpaceX, Skype, Hotmail, many other things. And Tim helped us, guide us, and in fact right now we have 18 investors. And we built many prototypes. We built about 12 prototypes, and the latest prototypes were the full size, driving and flying, and the whole deal. So let me address the second biggest elephant in the room. And second biggest elephant in the room is why there are a lot of pictures, why there's animations, why you do not show video of the car driving and flying. So I'm not going to show. So first of all, let me explain why not. We tried to be in a stealth mode for 7 years, and we tried to be in a stealth mode because it's not ready yet. We didn't want to show something it's not ready, but we had to open up for many reasons right now, right? So we'll open up a little bit early. That being said, I will not show you the latest prototype flying, so I think you will see it either the end of this year or beginning of the next year. All of you media, and it's going to be hopefully the public demo. Yes, it's already driving and flying and so on. But for the first time, for about 30 seconds, and after that, I probably will not show it ever again, I will show the previous model driving and flying. So guys, for the first time, Alef prototype. So let me tell you right now, let me finish with this. Let me tell you why we're doing it, and it's important. The reason we're doing it is time. So my father, Joseph Dukhovny, who I loved very much and I admired him and I'm imitating him, was a famous folk singer, scientist, inventor. He loved the science fiction, which he gave to me. About a year ago, he died in a fire. There was a fire in the apartment complex where he lived, and he was in the hallway when the fire started, and he tried to crawl to the entrance, and he was actually inches from the door when he died. And fire trucks came later. And doctors said that 5 minutes was the difference between him being alive today and that he died a year ago. So time matters. Time is one of the most important things we should have in life. We should cherish time. Time worth a lot to a business person. Time worth a lot to a cleaning lady with 2 kids who has to go pick up kids. She has to go to take care of her bills. She has to go to work. Time worth a lot to us. Our time on earth is very much important. 6.5 days per year, people in cities waste standing in traffic doing nothing. A week per year of your life you spend in traffic. We want to give back this week to you guys. We're going to give the time back to you. Thank you. So cars, start being a good mode of transportation. I didn't come here to show you yet another feature of the car. I didn't come here to show you yet another shape of the car. I came here to tell the time of cars is over, and time of flying cars starts today. Thank you.
passengers. Is it one or two? Two. I'd like to see how you get in it, too. You stand it up and feel it lands on you.
I guess we're going in.
Oh, I'm just curious about that.